Hello friends, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Trinity English Joseph. We have been discussing about various grammar topics, and today we are going to discuss about another one more topic, that is degrees of comparison or comparison of adjectives. Before I teach you about this topic, I request you all just to forward to your friends so that they also benefit from it, especially those students or those aspirants, those who are preparing for competitive examinations. I request you all to pass to your friends so that they may also benefit it. And those who are watching for the first time, please subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment what you feel about this particular topic. So before entering into the topic, first let us understand the name of the heading. So what is meant by degrees of comparison or comparison of adjectives? The moment you speak about this particular word comparison, it's a getting a difference or the similarity of something. And if you go with the degrees, degree means a rank or position of the adjective. So here, in what rank we have the adjective or in what position we use adjective is called as a degrees of comparison. And here if you just see an adjective that describes the person, place or an object is supposed to be said in the degrees of comparison. And then an adjective generally describes the quality, quantity, size or origin. And to see simply, the degrees of comparison speaks about only three kinds of adjectives, that is adjectives of quality or descriptive adjective, adjectives of quantity and adjectives of number. And only among these three itself we have the degrees of comparison. Totally we have around 12 kinds of adjective, and in this we have only for three the degrees of comparison. And then adjectives that change in form to show the comparisons is called as degrees of comparison. Means generally here the adjectives change their form to qualify or to talk about the noun. Here it refers to adjectives being written in different forms to compare one or two or more nouns, which are words describing persons, places and things. So here the comparison of adjectives, written in different forms to qualify one or two or more nouns. So here most of the times people are mistaken that that is the comparison between adjectives. No, it is the comparison of nouns by adjectives by changing their forms. So people, those who write any exams or those who understand about this topic, they should remember about this particular aspect. And then coming here, so there are three different forms of comparison or three different degrees of comparison. The first one is the base degree or the positive degree, and the second one is the comparative degree, and third one is ultimate or the superlative degree. And here coming to here, if you just look at the examples, we understand some information about it. The first one is Rama's mango is sweet. So when I say Rama's mango, I am just speaking only about one single noun, and then I am trying to talk about the quality of it. I am talking about Rama's mango, how it is. So Rama's mango is sweet. And then coming to the second one, that is a comparative degree. So in the comparative degree, I am talking about two persons. One is Hari, the other one is Rama. And Hari's mango is sweeter than Rama's. So here the word sweeter is talking about the quality of the mango of Hari's as well as Rama's. So here two nouns are compared and the quality of nouns is compared. Coming to the third one, that is ultimate degree or the superlative degree. If you come here, Govind's mango is the sweetest of all. So we have taken three nouns here, that is Rama, Hari and Govind. And here we are telling that so Govind's mango is the sweetest of all the three members. And now let us speak about the three different kinds of adjectives or the degrees of comparison and how are they formed. So here we are going to discuss about two important topics. That is, first one is formation of degrees of comparison and the second one is interchange of degrees of comparison. Hello students, now let us look at the formation of degrees of comparison. Here if you just look at, there are two kinds of comparison, that is regular comparison and irregular comparison. If you just look at these two words, regular and irregular, we need to understand the meaning between regular and irregular. Then only we understand the remaining part of it. These words regular and irregular are also used when we go to verbs. Even in verbs we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. First let us understand what is regular, what is irregular. The word regular means we have a base word and we add something along with it. If you just take in verbs, if you take the verb play, we add ed form. That means we keep the base word in the same way and add something along with it. So that is called a regular comparison or regular formation. So if you come here, irregular formation basically talks about not formed from a base word. It is just simply away from the base word. So this is the difference between regular and irregular formation. So please remember this so that it would be useful even when we go to the verbs. If you look here, as I already told you, regular comparison or regular formation talks about the base word plus addition to it. Here, if you just come here, the regular comparison or regular formation is again divided into two different divisions. First one is single syllabled and the other one is multi-syllabled. So single syllabled adjectives and multi-syllabled adjectives. So we will be learning about the syllables in our later classes. And now single syllable means any word if it includes one vowel sound, not vowel sound, then that is called as single syllable. And here coming to this particular aspect, we have basically three rules. First one is adjectives are added with er and est in the comparative and the superlative degree. If you see here, small is positive, smaller and smallest is comparative and the superlative. Here what we did is we added er and est along with this. If you just look here, we added er and est to the comparative and the superlative degree. Coming to the second rule, when positive ends in e, so if any adjective, if it is ending with e, we only add r and st. We don't add er and est again. So the simple example is brave, it ends with e, and we added simply r and st. We did not add er and est. So this is the second rule. Coming to the third rule, when the positive is a word of one syllable preceded by a short vowel, the consonant is doubled. If you just see here, not only in adjectives, even in the other words also, including nouns and verbs, if any single syllable word, if it is ending with a single consonant preceded by single vowel, we have to remember this. A single syllabled word ending with a single consonant preceded by single vowel. So if you just look at here, two words let me take. One is small, the other one is school. Here this word ends with two consonant preceded by single vowel. So there is a single consonant preceded by two vowels. In either of the cases, the rule is not applicable. So there should be single consonant preceded by single vowel. Only then the rule is applicable, not only in adjectives, even in the verbs and even nouns too. And coming here, this is what the words examples: red, redder, reddest. So here the consonant is doubled. So last, this is the single consonant preceded by single vowel. So the consonant is doubled here in these two cases. So even big, bigger, biggest, the same case. So this is the single syllabled formation. Coming to the second one is multi-syllabled formation. So here more than one syllable, if it is there, that we call it as a multi-syllable, maybe 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4 syllables or so many. And here coming to, we add more and most when we have more than one syllable. So if you just see here, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. stupid, more stupid, most stupid. And then intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. So in this way we have a number of words which we have with more and most. So remember very carefully, because sometimes students mistake it and then they add er and est even with the multi-syllable words. They simply say beautiful, beautifuler, beautifulest. So that is wrong, students. So please remember this when you form the comparison of adjectives. Coming to the next one, the second one is irregular comparison or irregular formation. As I already told you, it is not formed from a positive, or it is not formed from the base adjective or base verb. So that is called irregular formation. Coming here, the comparative and the superlative are not formed from positive. If you just look at certain examples, good or well, better and best. So they are not formed from the positive. If you see here, it is already formed from the positive, but whereas it is not formed from the positive, they are different or away from the positive. Bad or evil or ill, they have worse and worst as a comparative and the superlative. And the next one is much and many, they have more and most. Much is used for adjectives of quantity, and then many is used for adjectives of number. And for both we have more and most. Coming here we have far, farther, farthest, late, later, latter, latest and last. Coming here we have old, older or elder, oldest and eldest. So this is the formation of the degrees of comparison. And friends, now let us look at the second part, that is interchange of degrees of comparison. And altogether we have 6 models in the interchange of degrees of comparison. And the first model is model 1, and the name of that model is the best. Whenever you want to talk about the topmost of anything, we use this model. And coming to this, the examples. The first example is in the superlative, India is the most populous country in the world. And coming to comparative, we can write it in 2 ways. So let us look at how. India is more populous than any other country in the world. And we can also write it as India is more populous than all other countries in the world. So here, whenever you write the word any other, the noun should be always singular. And whenever you write all other, the noun should be plural. So in any way you can write, but as per any other we have to write a singular noun, and as per all other there should be plural noun. Aspirants and the students, please notify this so that it would be useful. And coming to the positive, we have no other used along with it. No other country in the world is so populous as India or as populous as India. Mostly whenever you have unequal comparison, we use so, and if it is equal comparison, we use as. But most of the times we don't have so much of rigid rules related to it. Coming to the second model, model 2, one of the best. So when you come to this one of the best, so in the group anywhere more than 2, if there are few again like them, so that particular thing or in that particular context, we would be using this particular model. So here coming to this, Bangalore is one of the coolest places in India. So it is one of the coolest, means there are also others like this. And coming to the comparative, Bangalore is cooler than most other places in India or many other places in India. Coming to positive, we use the word very few. Okay, so coming here, very few places in India are as cool as Bangalore. So students, especially when you are writing in the examination, you should remember very carefully. So please just pause this video whenever you just write, and then write down a notes neatly so that whenever you go ahead, it would be useful to you. And my appeal to all the students is that practice as many examples as possible. And especially when you go into examinations, most of the questions, they come on these 2 models. Model 1 and model 2, so you practice as much as possible. Friends, now let us look at model 3. Here when we look at model 3 and model 4, please notify that 3 and 4 do not have superlative, and the reason is they both do not go for the comparison of more than two. Here there is only comparison between two nouns. So that is the reason why we don't have superlative in model 3 and model 4. So if you just look at the model 3, that is called as unequal comparison, means there is a comparison between two unequal things. So we can just take an example of A and B. So one is more, the other one is less. Okay. So if you just look at here, Rosie is cleverer than John. So here if you just see, Rosie is cleverer than John. Rosie is more clever and John is less clever. So there is unequal comparison here. So when you come to positive, then if you can see, John is not so clever as Rosie, or John is not as clever as Rosie. That means, so we say that John is not so much like Rosie. So in that way, so one is more, the other one is less. So here in the model 3, if you get positive sentence here, you would be getting negative sentence here in the positive. So please remember, these two come in opposite to each other. Friends, if you come to model 4, here model 4 is a equal comparison. So equal comparison almost brings a kind of approximity between both. So here they are almost same. So here if you just see, so here also we don't have superlative. Here if you see, in the comparative, John is not taller than Benjamin. So here we get in the comparative negative sentence. And then if you just see in the positive, Benjamin is at least as tall as Jane. So here Benjamin and Jane almost are equal in their height. So in that way, John is not taller than Benjamin when you say Benjamin is at least as tall as Jane. So here we have a positive sentence here. So when you just remember these two models, so if you have in the comparative positive, we have negative in the positive sentence. And then here also in the model 4, if you have in the comparative, you have negative, in the positive you again have a positive. So they are two opposite to each other. Hence, now let us look at the model 5 and model 6. So these are the bottom models, which are also called as negative models, or in order to say about average and below average. So there are different ways of using the language. So instead of saying average and below average, so we use these two models, model 5 and model 6. So model 5 is known as a not the best model, and this is used in order to say that something is average or someone is average. So if you just look at the examples, Kiran is not the tallest of all the boys in the team. So he may be average tall, so average height. So in order to say that, we are using this model. So if you come to comparative, Kiran is not taller than some other boys in the team. So here we are going to use Kiran being not so tall like other boys. Coming to positive, some other boys in the team are at least as tall as Kiran. Even in the fourth model also we got the word at least, but here we get some other also along with it. So that is the difference between model 4 and model 5. So when you write certain things, so please remember in your mind and make a difference between what you are writing. So is it the comparison between two or more than two? So if it is only between two, you only get the word at least, and if it is more than two, you get some other as well as at least. So please remember this point when you solve the interchange of degrees of comparison. Coming to model 6, not one of the best. So here we want to say about something is below average. So when you want to say something is below average, we use this model, not one of the best. Coming to the examples, so in the superlative we say Nalini is not one of the most brilliant girls in the class. So Nalini is not one of the most brilliant girls in the class. So if you come here, some other girls in the class are more brilliant than Nalini. So Nalini is less brilliant, and compared to that, there are many people those who are better than Nalini. Coming to the positive, so if you just look at, Nalini is not so brilliant as some other girls in the class. So students, please remember here one thing, all other models, they get directly with some other, no other, very few. This is the only model which directly starts with a noun. So this is easier for us to remember these model. So if you just look at, these are the 6 models of interchange of degrees of comparison. So this is the end of the degrees of comparison. I hope you really liked my video about degrees of comparison. So please subscribe to my channel for more and more videos, so that it would encourage me better to do a better content. And please share to your friends, and then like, comment, and see you with many more videos in the future days. And please keep supporting me, and thank you all for being with me.